Hey, yeah, I'm on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the four-letter nerd. Well, it's only three nerds of a letter tonight. We'll get to that in a moment. But thank you. Welcome to the show. You are now watching the four-letter nerd brought to you by Hyro Geek X Unlimited. And tonight we're going to have a bit of a more somber show, a bit of a easier, mellower show in the beginning. We're probably going to wrap it up after that. But we're going to have a good show tonight. But I have to start off with the warnings. Sadly, still no Cake Boss, no Big Daddy Burgie. He's old and ill and tired and forgetful. He did not take care of himself after, his big Super Bowl weekend of a show. So he's now paying for it. He's now laid up in bed, sick, probably unconscious, boozed out on NyQuil and Dayquil, but it's okay. Oh, Lord, I'm sorry. And then the other one that's not here. And, oh, dear. Here he is. Look, he's already starting. He's not even here. But, it's okay. The slander's going to start because he left us. He abandoned us. He ran out on us because he had, family obligations. It's just, you got a show to do, bro. Tough it out. Stick it out. Be here. Who cares if it's your birthday week? No one cares about that. You need to be right here so I can give you crap to your face. Just want you to know that. This is where you belong. This is where you need to be. Apparently, I'm the worst host ever because, Mayhem's getting roasted and can't really defend himself. But that's his problem. Anyway, we're not going to listen to him anymore because he's not here. So, with me, as almost always, she's always here by our sides to try to keep us wrangled and bring us the feels on the show. And of course, I speak of none other than Lady Sidonai, the catastrophe. What, madam, that's a wonderful mug you've got there.
We're good. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
The most ineffectual glue that has ever existed. Witnessed just by the last 5 minutes of monologuing from
it wasn't
a force user. That was definitely a monologue.
Yeah. I was monologuing.
If this was the good and the bad and the ugly, he would say, if you're going to shoot, don't talk. Monologuing.
This is true. Yes, we did luggage. Burgie is old. And we let him know this, and we don't let him forget it.
We? The
royal we.
I'm not co-signing that. And I would also like to point out at this time that we're all the same age, aside from our sweet baby Mayhem.
Yes, he's the young man of the group.
He's just a baby.
He is. Because I can. Don't worry about why I speak French. Just... Oh Lord! Now you've got him saying it.
Look at it, sweet baby Mayhem. That's the next mug, sweet baby Mayhem.
Hey, sweet baby Ladies and gentlemen that are watching the show, let us know.
We have to take his head and put it on a baby.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh, it is. It's going in the chat right now. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, from the mouth of Lady Sidonai, sweet baby Mayhem. Merchandise.
And that's why I killed him, Your Honor.
And there we go. No, you don't get to choose, sir. You don't get to choose. Anyway, we do have a third host with us tonight. He's a regular special guest for us, and you can see him at all the ARE conventions and probably more conventions in the future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you're lucky. And, of course, we have Rhode Island's own Peter Griffin.
Now the show suddenly went downhill.
We went up, we plateaued, and now we're about to go up again. It's nothing but a high rise from here on out.
Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Either that or from Cloudy of a Chance with Meatballs, where the butt flap is open when the baby and they're looking over her shoulder like this.
The old school Mortons.
Yeah, exactly.
Be our guest, let our service do the test.
That is the one Disney song I don't know most of the words to the songs to.
That's all I know.
Oh, okay. I think that's all we need to know for that one.
Yeah.
I think that's the gist of it. They want you to be
I
their
mean,
guest.
it gets the point of the whole scene across.
There's
So
the plot. A plot in
There's
one
plot.
in one sentence. There it is.
right, be our guest. Don't
Nope.
worry that he's a monster and we're plates, dishes, and brooms. We're good. We're good.
She's a furry.
But whatever.
Hey, we don't kink shame here.
I mean, well, don't forget, she did have that look of disgust on her face when he went from the giant 6-foot beast to this 5'8" guy.
We all did.
You know who? It surprised the hell out of me. You know who?
Ask any girl. Ask.
Do you know who-
I don't even want to say that. Ask anyone who thought that the beast was hot what they thought once he went.
Do you know who the voice of the head candle was?
Lumiere.
Yes, Lumiere. It was
Was
Jerry
it?
Rohrbach from Law and Order.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the old detective. He's no longer with us.
Yo.
The
Hey, you know what
beast
really
was
grinds
not
my
the
gears
villain.
is when people ask me what really grinds my gears.
The beast wasn't the villain. Belle was.
Belle was
She,
the villain.
she really was, wasn't she?
She was the villain.
She was. He tried to
Actually,
be
you
nice
know
to
what?
her, and then he was
Gaston
like,
was that gaslighting little bitch. That's who it was. Gaston was the real enemy of the state.
I mean,
the girl
He
was the
riled
victim.
up- he
I mean,
riled-
she
he riled
was
up.
the victim. Sorta.
Wait, did I say Gaston? That's not who
you
I
said
meant.
Gaston. You
I meant
did.
the little one. LeFou.
LeFou.
Yeah.
Mayhem's on.
Gaston was
Lord.
not innocent. However, I meant to say LeFou, not Gaston. LeFou was the one that riled everybody up.
Yep. Right.
How dare women want to read?
There aren't
I
even any
mean-
pictures in them.
I was elected to lead, not read.
Not read. Exactly. All right. So today's beginning of the show is a bit of a more somber beginning of the show.
As you can tell.
We did learn that it is indeed epilepsy and homelessness and Native American Awareness Month. I don't know how you get all these things in one month, but you do. And we're going to talk a little bit on these items inside of the geekdom and TV shows, comic books, video games, all that good stuff. And we're going to try to bring as much awareness as we can to it with our tiny little show that we love so much. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right on in. And I'm going to bring in Mr. Stevie, the Rhode Island's own.
Here we go. Here we go.
And we're going to start off with him. And, oh, there we go. Sorry. I got to run the whole show because there's only one producer and it's me. And I got to push all the buttons. So if things go wrong,
It's
blame
me.
Mayhem for not being here.
My son, God, it's me.
It's you this time instead of Mayhem doing the whole "it's me, hi."
I mean,
There you go.
he's not here, but yeah, there we go. There we go. So we're going to start off with Mr. Stevie here. And he's going to start off with his homelessness in the geekdom.
Yeah, let's start with the one that first comes to mind because that's what came to my mind.
Right? That was the
Hancock.
first thing I thought of when I thought of homelessness in the geekdom.
Will Smith before he was slapping people in the face.
Right? Back when we cared about Will Smith and we didn't worry about what his estranged wife was going to say next.
Yeah. So good old Hancock, guy living on the streets, but he had extraordinary powers. But for some reason, he decided to just be homeless. It was weird. But, and then they were like, hey, you got these powers. Let's turn this into some good. And then he was like, I don't know. And then he was like, fine. And then, yes, let's dispute this. We don't want any copyright infringements. People.
Right? I'm like, hold up. You're not muted yet. Wait. Now we can play this. But it was an interesting
They are
movie.
heroes.
There are superheroes.
Yeah, there are. And then there's
And
this
then-
asshole.
Basically. That's basically what it was in the first, 45 minutes of the movie?
Yeah.
He's
Hancock.
some dude just getting in the way, trying to help, but not.
I think this is like a really true representation of
This is a
if
white
we
kid about to get
actually
punted.
were able to get superpowers. I think a lot of us just wouldn't know how to handle that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is why
this
when people ask me what superpower I want, I try to go with something that is the most harmless thing ever.
Be like Dane Cook. I want spaghetti on my hands.
I don't even want that.
I mean, he does more damage than good. And
By the way, R.I.P. Dane Cook. I mean, not him, but his career.
I mean, you're like 2 decades late for that though. Cause
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that
not.
was 2 decades ago that he
I mean,
lost.
look at this. He just
It's about 2
put a
decades
shoulder,
between
he
him
put
and
a
his new wife
shoulder into a
too.
drain.
So
Okay, he just put
check
a
that.
shoulder into a drain.
And it's. I think this is. This
Oh
scene
yeah. When he yeeted the freaking whale.
right into the
Whee!
boat.
Yep. Couldn't avoid the boat. Just take that, white people.
Sir,
Sorry.
I feel like that's what the orcas saw before they started going ham on the ships in the ocean right now.
You have a point there. They're like, yo,
Uh,
this dude just chucked one of us.
They were
So,
probably they probably were projecting that movie on a cruise ship and they were like, "Oh, fuck that."
shit.
I could see it. Just running completely amok now.
I mean, that seems very plausible to me.
It does.
Okay, so just hear me out for this one for a second, okay? Because like I said, I tried to really be good on this one, but this reminded me of something from the great Chris Rock, who got slapped by the aforementioned John Hancock. All right. But he did a skit. He was like, so if you just read this out for a second, family kidnapped by ninjas need money for karate lessons, okay? But if you listen to the great Chris Rock, if a guy has a funny sign and he's homeless, he hasn't been homeless long enough. A real homeless guy is too hungry to be funny.
I remember that joke. I remember that.
So that's what I thought of when I saw this picture.
I mean, he's right. He's not wrong. I had to bust out my favorite line.
I was gonna say it. Go ahead, say it.
He's right, but he's out of line.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, but he is out of line. Because, granted, technically, I was homeless for a little bit, but I also wasn't. It was basically I had to share a room with my family. It was literally 3 of us in this tiny room. Shout out once again to Steven for letting us have my old room back once I moved out and needed a place to stay.
Oh, you're welcome.
So it was literally me, the wife, and our oldest kid in my old room with no furniture because it was all in storage. And it sucked. And I felt so bad because I didn't have a place for my family. And needless to say, we scraped and struggled and got some crap together and we got a place. Granted, I do nothing but talk down on this place, but it's a place. It's ours. I can mostly afford it because the price of rent is too damn high. Sorry, I was getting down on myself, so I have to cheer myself up. And no, the rent is too damn high. Period.
I lived on my friend's couch twice in my life, and those aren't times I want to go back to. It's
right.
Yeah, I get it.
It was just.
I don't ever want to look into my cupboards anymore and go, okay, well, I've got kidney beans, peanut butter, and pasta, so let's see what I can make out of this.
Right. It's not trying to make light of a situation. It's just it's such a down and dour situation when you're in it, and it looks and feels like you don't know how to get out of it or if you're gonna have a way out of it. It's just it sucks. It sucks to be in that situation.
Yep.
And it's a serious situation. It sucks when you're in it. It's got to suck for those that are going through it, living in their cars and stuff like that. And now I'm all down. But it's okay. It's okay.
That's okay, because then we're gonna go into topic number 2 here in a second.
Right. And so I really didn't pick anything for the homelessness and geekdom because it's not something I like to speak on or about because I've only experienced like the very tip of the iceberg of it. And it's just one of those situations that is so much deeper than what we know and what we can see.
Because let's be honest about this. How often do we see positive things about homeless people in movies and culture?
Let's
be honest about it. I mean, there's literally a comic book out there called like Homeless Henry or something like that, or Homeless Bruce. Yeah, that was written by some Christian comic book artist thingy. Yeah.
Ooh, it's not a Jack track, is it?
I don't think so. Please hold while the next subscribe you're looking for is located.
Thank you, sir. But Miss Sidonai, do you have any experiences or anything like that when it comes to homelessness?
I I worked a food kitchen on Sundays for a large portion of my teenage years. I unfortunately, as an adult, have fell off badly with that, just carving out the time to do it. And the people that made their way through were all kinds of people. And you meet some of the most beautiful souls that way. And I just wish that we had a way of helping people in a long term way with the vices and the illnesses and everything that got them where they are. But as far as picking anything here, I covered this topic and also one of the other topics, Native American, month last month pretty extensively. And so this year I just kind of focus on the epilepsy. So I don't have much to add to that. But that if you do find the time to help out, I would recommend doing it because a lot of the people are not what you think they are. And that's important to know.
Yes, ma'am.
The
Homeless
right,
Henry.
Homeless Harry was the name of the comic.
Harry.
Yeah, yeah. And but like in my city, we have a really bad homeless problem right now. We have a bunch of homeless camps that they basically try to kick out all the time, which I kind of understand it, but I don't at the same time. But it's like a lot of people have been given the option for help and they just don't take it, and it's just like, why would you not take it? This is part of the thing is I just don't understand. It's like they're offering you something. It may not be the best option in the world, but it's better than me living under under an underpass and a tent.
Yeah. The pride is probably part of it. Fear is another. Like, who knows what thing people are. And then there are some people that just want that lifestyle for whatever reason.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
You say.
Yeah.
Reg, you got anything?
No, I said my piece. Like I said, it's just one of those deep topics that it sucks to talk about, but it is something that needs to be talked about. But I am not the one to talk about it or speak on it because, like I said, I've barely experienced it. So that is my piece about it.
Mm-hmm. We actually have a bus here in my city that we just got. They parked it in a parking lot of a church, and it's like a compassion bus, I guess, if you will, and it was retrofitted to fit X amount of beds. I'm still not sure how they go to the bathroom, but at least they have shelter away from the elements.
I've seen not where I am, but I've seen where they have like tiny home villages where it's not even really a tiny home. It's more like rooms, but they're like single, like little units, like little sheds almost. And then there's like a locker room type area for showers and things like that. But you get your own like little room with a bed and a couch. No, I'm sorry, not a couch, it's too small for that, but like a chair and a table and stuff. And it gives you just enough like protection. It's temperature control. It gives you enough protection from the elements and a safe place to spend the night.
We have an issue here in Massachusetts where a lot of states are sending all their refugees and people who have crossed illegally, and they send them all up to Massachusetts because we'll take anybody. But now we're putting them up in hotels, and the state's footing the bill. But then the hotels are like, well, then also, Bo, how do we get other people to want to, rent from us? Same thing with the Gillette Stadium is hosting the Army Navy game this year for the first time, and some people actually had their reservations taken away because the hotel was now a refugee hotel, and they had to find other, which is not easy around here because we're not like New York City where there's hotels everywhere you look. I think the convention center is going to be hosting a lot of the military student athletes and students on basically the show floor. What we were just walking on, they're going to have cots all lined up and ready to go.
Wow. Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things where some people want to help, some people don't, and I try not to judge anyone that's in the situation, and just try to have compassion and try to help as much as I can, which is very little because
I found
Yeah.
something on a Reddit thread a couple years ago that I've posted to my Facebook, and I share it every year just because I thought it was so beautiful. It was actually 2 comments. One person commented, and then there was a reply. And the first comment was, "You can't save the world, but you can help a neighbor." And then the person that responded and it said, "And if every neighbor helped a neighbor, we could save the world." And
that we could.
I think that's a really good thought.
It is. All right. And on that note, we shall change gears.
Pivot.
Pivot. Ugh. Why do people see? I don't get that show. I'm
And
sorry.
I've
You got
never
me
watched
started.
it. I've never watched it, but I've seen clips from the show. Like, I don't think
What
I've ever
show
seen a
is it?
complete episode.
Friends.
When
I
they're
don't-
bringing a sofa up the stairs,
Oh yeah.
and he keeps on yelling, "Pivot!"
Pivot. I don't go out of my way to watch the show. I have friends and they watch the show, so therefore I'm sitting there like, what are we watching? And I'm like, is this what we're watching? Is this? Yeah, no, that show.
Everything that I know from that show, I've seen in either a TikTok or an Instagram reel or a Facebook something.
Right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. He starts off strong with this, and then here we go. And then he just goes in. We're not listening to you, sir. There's a reason you're
I'll
not
be
here.
there for you.
No. It's
So
not my cup of tea.
onwards and upwards. Next.
There we go. All right, sir. So now we shall be moving on to epilepsy in the geekdom. And
Yeah,
you
we
gave
are.
me a wide list of people that I wasn't sure if the people themselves were
Yeah.
epileptic or the characters they played were epileptic.
Yeah, well,
So I will
I'll let you know.
decide.
I'll let you know.
Yes, please do.
All right, up next.
Is it not showing?
Nope.
Did I not hit the button? I didn't hit the button. See what
There
happens
we
when I'm
are.
in charge of all the buttons? I don't hit
All
the
right, so
button.
this is a character from The Young and Restless. This is Victor Newman. His character has epilepsy on the show.
Okay.
Oh, does he have it in real life, or he just plays somebody with epilepsy?
Just somebody who has it.
Okay. Are all those soap operas still going?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I know.
That was the days of our lives, girly.
It's still going on, and I'm still as confused as ever.
I think that just comes with the territory.
All right, this is another character. This is Reverend Smith from Deadwood. Also another character who suffers from the ailment.
So how do they portray it when they have it in the show?
I'm sure there's just moments
Respectfully,
where,
I
like,
hope.
yeah, hopefully. No laughing matter. My ex died of epilepsy.
Oh. Wow.
She's the one that ended with her domestic abuse on me, so no love lost. The Exorcist. So they thought when she was initially possessed, they thought she was having epilepsy, and come to find out, she just had a demon in her.
I mean, being possessed by a demon.
It's all in the delivery here.
Right. I mean, they look similar. They do look similar.
All right, so Elton John has epilepsy.
Did not know that.
I didn't know that
I mean,
either.
As flashy as his shows are, I
know.
I would not have guessed.
Maybe
I guess
special glasses. Maybe that's why there's got that tint. Who knows?
Possibly.
Oh yeah.
Because his glasses always have that tint.
This is true. This is true. Oh,
Prince,
wow.
Epilepsy. But we know how that tragic ending.
Right. This is true. This is one that shocked me right here.
Another one you would think with all the the stages. I mean, I have yet to go to a hip hop concert in my life. However, I'm expecting that there's a lot of flashy lights.
Yes, there are plenty of flashing lights and pyrotechnics, depending on who you're watching. But yeah, when I found out that Lil Wayne has it, I was like, and he deals with it. And I do believe that he said that was part of the reason of his habit forming things that he did, that was to help him with that. And he's learning to manage these things better. And like, when Lil
I
Wayne
think
came
a
out,
lot of addictions can point towards pain management.
yes. And when he came out, I was all right with him, and then he got oversaturated, and I got tired of him. But then I learned about his personal life and his struggles with everything, and that gave me more respect for the man. And the fact that when he writes a song, he literally just listens to music and just does the song, doesn't write anything down. Everything comes out of his mind, and the fact that he makes so many songs that he can't remember the lyrics to his own songs.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And yeah, it just brought my level of respect back up for the man.
Yeah, I could understand.
Danny Glover. Danny
Really?
Glover's, Danny Glover's another one with epilepsy, and a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt there with him, and Angels in the Outfield. Great movie, by the way. If you haven't watched it, I suggest it.
Right.
Adam Horowitz from the Beastie Boys.
Right. Very nice. Yeah, I looked this up. I'm like, that's a Beastie Boy from back in the day. I was like,
Yeah.
I never knew. I never knew.
And then the last one here should be Amy Lee from Evanescence.
Oh wow!
Really?
Yep.
See, once all these people that perform on stage, I guess if you learn ways to manage it,
or maybe it's how you position the lights on the stage.
I would imagine so. But yeah, that is crazy.
Nothing very blinky.
Right?
You know?
It's like, don't turn around, just keep facing the way you're facing. Yes, he does. All right. And then Miss Sid and I, you've got a super, super powerful one to present with us. And I looked this over, and man, I was blown away by the story and the art of just that little bit that we got to see of this. And
thank you. I was very grateful to find it because I did not know it existed before I went looking for it, and that's a shame. I had a cousin by the name of Paul who got sick when he was 3 or 4. He had encephalitis and suffered some brain damage and had epilepsy. Pretty bad seizures. He had several surgeries to release fluid in his brain and some of the swelling. He had medication that was actually implanted in him in a bracelet, one that could release it when he felt a seizure coming. His parents made sure that he did everything his siblings did. So he was on the swim team with them. He was in the Special Olympics. He was actually a gold medal winner for bocce. He got to carry the torch for the Special Olympics. And unfortunately, on July 31st, 2012, he had a seizure that ended his life. He was a year from 30 years old. He had met the love of his life. He was engaged, had so much to look forward to, had so many more years than they thought that he would, but it was a devastating loss. And it still continues to be 11 years later. About 1 in 100 people in the U.S. has had a single unprovoked seizure or has been diagnosed with epilepsy. 1 in 26 people will develop epilepsy in their lifetime. If you are unaware, epilepsy is a disorder of the brain characterized by repeated seizures. There are different forms of epilepsy. There's different severeness of epilepsy. I don't know enough about it to go into it, but right now there are 3.4 million people with epilepsy just nationwide, not worldwide, just nationwide. So I went looking for epilepsy in comics and found this delightful non-binary artist by the name of Yasmin Omar Atta. They're an intersectional comics artist, illustrator, and game designer. Yasmin focuses on creating art centered around the themes of coping with illness, understanding identity, and dismantling oppressive structures. That's a picture of Yasmin there. The graphic novel that I found and shared with the group that shows a preview of it is called Miss Hadra. And it is about a young man trying to get through life. He's an Arab American epileptic named Isaac. He wants to be a functional college student. He wants to have friends, but his epilepsy is an exhausting battle. He attempts to maintain a balancing act between his seizure triggers and his day-to-day schedule, but finds that nothing, not even his medication, seems to work. Doctors won't listen, schoolwork keeps piling up, his family's in denial about his condition, and his social life falls apart, and he feels more and more isolated. And this is just showing his struggle and how deep it goes. It's characterized here, the seizures, by those knives. And the artwork itself is very compelling. I don't know if you have any of the preview pages. I think I sent you one, right? So here is the seizure coming in and him just saying, fine, you win. I'll stay home. I'll sleep in. I'll skip class. I'll call off my meeting. I'll cancel another day of my life for you. And what we got to see, which I'm purchasing it, was really beautiful and amazing. And even if you don't know someone with epilepsy, empathy is probably the most powerful thing that we have to just combat a lot of the badness in this world. And I'm sorry that I'm so struggling for words, but when I get like this, I do struggle for words. We need to be better. We need to care about each other more. And it shouldn't be conditional. And I fall guilty of that myself too, like judging and having opinions. But I was always taught, like, the first thing that you feel is what you were taught. And the correction that you make to yourself is who you want to be. And I want to be better. And I hope everyone does too. They have another book out called Naira and the Jinn, which also looks very fun. And this is about dismantling some of the patriarchal structures and the intersectionality of this young person here. So I would highly recommend anyone that wants to read any of these. I will put the link in the comments of what I shared with the group. And more compassion, more empathy, more understanding of each other. That's how we build a better future for the future generations. Not everyone is parents, so I can't say children, but somebody's child. Let's pay that forward. It is very scary. It is having witnessed many of his seizures and been part of trying to get him to not swallow his own tongue. It is traumatizing, especially when you're younger. And there are so many things that cripple people every day, things seen and unseen. But knowledge is power, absolutely. It's trite, but it's very true. And that's my soapbox that I'll be falling off of right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, ma'am. And so when I saw what you had up to talk about, I'm like, I can't follow that with anything.
You for sure can. That was a rambling mess.
It was not a rambling mess. It was very sweet and eloquent, and you can feel the passion behind the words that you said.
It really is. You never forget it.
It's true. I actually had a neighbor that had a seizure disorder, and I helped him through one of them one time while we were hanging out. And yeah, you feel helpless.
You do.
When it happens, because I just felt helpless. And, his family, oh, you do this and we got to do this, make sure he does that. And, just hold this. And yeah, it sucked to see him have to go through this. And he'd been having them his entire life. And yeah, and he's such a sweet guy. Actually, he just messaged me on Facebook the other day. He actually likes to collect the Pop Tops for Ronald McDonald House, and he's literally the #1 contributor to the Ronald McDonald Pop Tops for the state of Colorado. And he's been doing it for years. And it was great. Every time, like, he only messages me once every few years, just let me know he's doing all right. And yeah, and I always have a good conversation with him, and he's just a sweet guy. And I hate that he has to live his life like that.
Yeah, I just want to give Kat a hug right now.
Right?
Oh, do not. It'll make it worse.
The
Ignore
will
me.
make it worse.
Ignore me while I pull myself together.
Whoop. Your wishes all come in. Oh, see, yeah, we're out just in time. No hugs, sir. No hugs. But yeah, it's just one of those deep subjects that you can tell when people are talking about it from the heart, and I can tell we all spoke from a place in our hearts. And the next one up is one that is a topic that I like to focus on because it's not a lot of my heritage, but it's a little bit. And I don't try to claim it or anything. I just say, hey, there's some in there because it's there. But I like reading Native American stories and comics. And sadly, I'm only used to the mainstream ones that I've come across, except for like the ones that I talked about last year that were the less mainstream ones. And and I don't want to talk about the same ones that I always do, so I went and picked some different ones for this year. But I like to, bring some light to the Native American peoples that we have inside of our geekdom and inside the industry. And we talked about this one a little bit last year, but I hadn't watched it when we talked about it. But after watching it, yeah, no, it was a great depiction of the peoples and what could have happened at that time for what it was. And of course, I'm talking about Prey, the Predator prequel, and the way it showed the Native Americans and their interactions with the land, with the trappers, with the traders, and this creature that was sent there to hunt them. And the way that she learned how to overcome the technology of an alien with just the traditional teachings of her people and how effective it could be when fighting, well, anybody that meant to do their people harm. And the fact that you could tell that this creature respected her because of her ways. And you saw what it did to the hunters and the trappers, because yeah, no, it just slaughtered them indiscriminately. And it actually, showed the honor of the fight with, the main character. And just because, hey, I can see the honor in the way you fight. It's not cowardly. I'm going to respect you. I'm going to take these weapons off, and we're going to go hand to hand, and we're going to see who comes out on top. And I enjoyed seeing that. So I didn't get to see it before when it was being spoken about, but I did watch it afterwards, and it was a great film overall. Just a wonderful film. Any thoughts on Prey?
10 out of
Never
10, no
seen
notes.
it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? It's such a good one. If you've got the time.
I don't think I've
watch
ever
it.
sat down and fully watched any of the Predators.
The first one and
With
this
Arnold.
one.
With Arnie.
Yes, with Arnold. Get to the chopper. Get down. If it bleeds, we can kill it. That guy.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That was a really impressive impression there. I have to honestly
solid.
say I don't think I've ever heard anything as impressive as that.
That's a lie, but thank you for the compliment. I'll take it. But yes, that is my thoughts on Prey.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm looking, obviously I'm we're preview of seeing what's up next as opposed to what the viewer can see, I think. And I'm looking at your list on there. It's amazing how many DC, how many Indian or Native American, I should say, characters there were, whether they were heroes or villains.
Right. And I tend to mostly focus on the heroes because I like the heroes. I don't mind villains. There are some villains I like, but I do tend to focus more on the heroes. And
so you like the song in by Nickelback there for the Spider-Man soundtrack.
If a hero can save us, not gonna return nowhere. Yes,
exactly.
That was a less successful impression, but I appreciate the effort behind it.
Look, I can't win them all, and I'm okay with that. My Arnold is solid. My Get to the Chopper, yeah, that's my bread.
Yeah,
and
that
butter.
one that was impressive. The
But
following.
I'll tell you, Chad Kroeger also has a hard time doing a Chad Kroeger, so there's that one.
Yeah, it's just it's hit or miss, and I'm okay with that. So next on my list is a game series and a comic book series that I did enjoy playing when I was younger, and that is Turok Dinosaur Hunter, because who would not want to have? And I'm not sure if this was based on it or not, but there's also the game Dinosaurs and Cadillacs. I swear it had to do something to do with Turok, and somebody got the rights to it, and then they lost it, and then they just put out the game Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. And I'm like, why does this look like Turok with a car in the middle of it? I swear.
This made me think of something completely different. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Turok the Dinosaur Hunter and Dinosaurs and Cadillacs. Where could you take that?
No,
Okay,
no, don't
okay.
ask him that.
Yes. So there was a meme I saw earlier today, and it was Jesus just walking by the waters, and he looks sad, and he goes, "Can't believe Dad took away my dinosaurs."
I mean, I could see that. That is hilarious. I would share that and laugh at that. Yes, I could see that.
I'm sorry. It was just perfect timing today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And but yeah, so these are like some of the ones that stand out to me. And I didn't read a lot of Turok, the original run. Well, actually, I read more of the original run than the newer runs. And I just enjoyed, the story. It was slightly prehistoric, but also not. But, you got Native Americans out there just trying to make their way and not get eaten by dinosaurs. I mean, who can't identify with that? We've all seen Jurassic Park. Nobody wants to get eaten by dinosaurs. So getting through life without being eaten by a dinosaur is a plus. So that's what always intrigued. It's like the zombie comic books of today. How the zombie comic books are like everywhere. Dinosaur comic books, I think, were the thing in the mid 90s before the zombies took over. That's just my opinion. Thank you for listening. And another person that I do enjoy their comics would be John Proudstar. And he's the older brother of James Proudstar. And for a while, only one of them had their mutant abilities, because typically in the X-Men universe, you got to go through something traumatic to make your mutant gene pop up. And actually for John, it didn't pop up until he went to war, because he signed up and went to war. And that's when his showed up, and he decided, he's going to do something good with his powers. And, when you got, nigh invulnerability and super strength, you want to try to do some good for some people. And, Xavier has this habit of being, I just realized something.
Uh-oh.
Xavier is the Batman of the mutant world. He's always going to go find these disenfranchised
justice
little kids and bring them on board to go fight his fight for him. And the original X-Men and the original X-Men, aka Vulcan's team, that's all it is all these little kids that did not know what to do with the hand that life had dealt them. And Xavier's like, yo, check it. I got money. I got a school. I got a big house. Come live with me and go fight my fights for me.
So more like Professor X.
Yeah, Professor X is the Batman of the mutants. So he's just going to find any unattended mutant and drag them to his school and make them fight his fight. And some of them are going to die. Some of them are going to die. I just realized that just came to my head right then and there. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Xavier, Batman of the mutant world. Sir, no strikes. No strikes. They're going to get us. They're watching. Yes, sir. And so, of course, his brother wanted to follow in his footsteps. And he actually joined the team to get revenge until he found out what really happened between Xavier and his brother, which at the time, that Xavier, you could give that Xavier forgiveness. Xavier, after that, he started to get a little shady. And then one of my favorite Native American characters from the comic books, who actually I loved her rebirth, is Dani Moonstar. So she has this ability to do the dream walking with her bow that is like a spiritual bow. So it inflicts physical and spiritual pain to you. And she can also do the dream walking, so she could be in people's dreams and see what they're dreaming to find out information. And then for a while, she actually lost her powers and was literally not a mutant. So when Wanda said no more mutants, she lost her abilities, and then she was also one of the mutants that did not get her abilities back when the abilities came back. But she got a dope ass upgrade from Asgard because Odin's like, yo, you a bad chick. So let me give you this. So she literally, I don't have the picture, but she became the actual leader of the Valkyries of Asgard. And man, did she go on to kick a lot of ass after that. And I loved when she
wasn't Tess the leader of the Valkyries?
Tess?
From Thor? Yeah.
That's in the movies, yes. In the comic books, she does not exist. She's literally a
made up character.
Yes and no. She's like a mixture of Danny and actual Valkyrie, who was the original leader of the Valkyries. And she was thrown together.
I was elected to lead, not read.
But the comic books are so good, you must read them. Read them, sir. Read them. And so those are my picks to put a spotlight on Native American characters in comic books and video games. And it's just some people whose books I like reading and their stories that I like to read. And I like when she became a Valkyrie because there was a Native American history mixing with the Norse history and the mysticism, and it came together, and it was good and it was dope. You should read the stories. Thank you. That is my TED Talk. All right,
Perfect.
Sir, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure? Can you follow that? Are you ready to follow that?
I think I can.
Okay, I think you can too.
All
I
right,
believe in you.
Cool. I believe I can fly.
Sir, no,
Sorry.
no, we don't, no, not that one. Not him. Somebody else.
Start back at one.
Okay, that's all right. That's better.
All right.
You can do Brian McKnight. That's better.
Yeah. Brian McKnight is greater than.
Yes, he is. All right, you're up. Go, sir. Go.
All right. The Last of the Mohegans. I mean, come on. Just look at it. The Last of the Mohegans. Number 2, Dances with Wolves, because if there's anything I love to dance with, it's wolves.
How exactly does one dance with wolves?
I don't think it's a dance. It's more like running away as you're like trying not to step on a porcupine.
Wait, there's porcupine. Wait, so you're running from the wolf?
I'm not sure. Well, I was thinking.
What forest are you in?
I was thinking more like cactus. I was thinking more cactuses, and I just said porcupine. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Forgiven.
That's okay. Cool. The Indian Cupboard. I kind of remember this as a kid, but I kind of don't.
I do remember it. This was like one of my favorite books as a kid, and I enjoyed.
Disney made a movie out of it.
I did not like the movie. I enjoyed the books. The movie reminded me of Night at the Museum too much. So I was like, but it's not the movie's fault. They did well with what they had, but I read the crap out of the book series when I was young. So when I went to the book fair, this is where my money went. I was all about.
This is where your Scholastic money went. Yes, when you get that flyer for all the Scholastics. Yeah.
Like, for real, that's where my money went.
Yo, hold their paws so they can get on their hind.
You would say that. You would.
All right, next. All right. Can we say this one at the end? Go to the next one. There we go. All right. So this movie effed me up. Have any of you seen this movie?
I have not.
No.
Is this on Netflix? What is this on?
It's Netflix.
Okay.
So I believe it was produced. Yeah, it says right there, produced by Clint Eastwood. So basically, he was a kid. He was found in the woods. His grandmother wasn't doing well because he was trying to run for something. Anyway, so he gets taken and brought to one of them Canadian residential schools where they basically strip you of your entire heritage and they take away your Indian name. They give you like an actual name, and they basically try to rid the Indian in you. And this is true story. This is actually a story. But this kid found salvation in hockey. So he learned how to play at the school because of one of the priests. By the way, these are schools run by the Catholic Church, by the way. But so he goes on, he plays, adult hockey and some, I guess, not like the NHL, but professional non-NHL leagues, what have you. Then it goes real dark because he starts getting angry and drinking a lot, and you can't understand why. And then one day, the priest who taught him how to play the game, and then all of a sudden it just starts making sense, and they go back into flashbacks and stuff like that, and come to find out that he was taken advantage of by said. But the movie was excellently done, and it sheds a lot of light on, what happened to Native Americans, especially in the North, at these Catholic run schools, and how they were basically, taught to just get rid of everything you've ever known, become a white man, even though you're not. It was.
I've seen some stories about those residents.
Brilliant. It was a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
And it shed a lot of light. It was brilliant because it shed a light on these issues. Now we can go to the next one.
How did you even come across this movie?
I was bored one day. I was at home and I was just like, I'll check it out.
Okay.
I was like, ooh, hockey.
What? Yeah. Okay.
And then I learned some shit. And then I learned some shit.
It's like, man, I'm going to watch a hockey movie. Now I'm in my feels. Thanks.
I'm like, where's the Mighty Ducks in this one?
Right.
And then, of course,
you got to slip the Family Guy reference in there.
Yeah. So this one is this was from season 12, episode 6. Brian and Stewie go back to 17th century Jamestown and give the Native Americans guns. And then you fast forward to present day. They're back in the present day after doing their time jump, and all of a sudden now the American Indians are rummaging through Quahog, trying to get anybody who's not Indian off of the streets and out of the picture, kind of like taking the reservation back.
Very nice. So they stuck the white people on the reservation? Is that what you're telling me?
They're basically trying to take all the land back.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was theirs. Well, theirs. They were present on it and using it properly.
Yep.
We'll say that. Because the earth does not belong to any one human.
No, it doesn't.
All right. Well, I think we did good. So now that Mayhem's not here, let me ask you guys this. Have you watched Loki?
I have. Yeah, I finished it.
You still haven't watched it, ma'am?
NASCAR has had me in a chokehold.
Ma'am, no. What?
Few weeks.
Did you just say NASCAR?
I did.
NASCAR.
Vroom vroom.
Driving left in a circle.
Not me. Yeah,
no, I'm not you personally.
Head this way.
So you were watching NASCAR?
No.
Oh.
I was just not able to watch Ahsoka or Loki until NASCAR season is over.
I'm sorry, who's in your house making your family watch NASCAR?
No one in my house is forcing my family to watch NASCAR.
They're choosing to watch it?
I'm not watching NASCAR. I'm just not watching Ahsoka or Loki until someone else finishes watching NASCAR.
Okay, got you. So you can't watch it because he wants to watch it with you, but he's watching NASCAR.
Correct.
Sir, I know you're going to see this. You cannot do this to her. She needs to watch these shows. NASCAR is nice, but these shows are better. So much better. Because trust me, the wife wants to talk to you about Loki because she's upset yet again about the ending of one of our shows.
So we watched the first 2 episodes. No. On our way to and from Colorado, we watched a couple episodes of Secret Invasion, and I ended up watching the rest of that on my own just because I wanted to finish something. Right. Damn it, I wanted to watch something.
Right.
And I was excused for that, but I watched 1 episode of Ahsoka.
Ooh, I know how you feel about that.
That was was not the move. That was not the move.
That was not the way to go.
So I stopped watching.
I loved Ahsoka.
I've seen that 1 episode. Now they've caught up and they've watched the 1 episode, but NASCAR just finished this past.
Dare you nerds of the round? I know it's you, Bastion. Stop that.
So yeah. Okay.
So Loki season 2 was like the beginning of Loki season 2 was like the beginning of Loki season 1, where I was like, how am I gonna get through this? But then shit got real, and then shit got realer, and then she got even more realer.
Right.
For real.
For real.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of walking, but it was
I'm
necessary
actually
walking.
surprised. Like I've seen some things that might be spoilers, but I like acknowledge like, oh, this is in reference to this show, and then like I like moved on. So I've been able to avoid a lot. So
That's good.
I hope my
It's
sacrifice is appreciated.
it is
Very much so.
appreciated.
Very
It
much so. Yeah.
saddens us, but it is appreciated. You're going to enjoy it when
You get to
watch
it.
hopefully.
When that day finally comes.
Yes.
I
You
mean,
don't say.
so if you want, my wife hasn't seen Loki 1 or 2, and she hasn't seen Ahsoka yet fully. So if you want to come and just snuggle with her and just watch the shows, it's fine.
Ooh.
I absolutely would.
I don't
because
think he can get
she's my
mad
wife.
if you're snuggling with your wife and watching the shows.
She is my wife, and we're very in love right now.
Hello, low-key legends.
Hi. We are living our best lives, and I can't wait until I see her again.
Very nice.
We need to
Eventually.
get together. We need to get together.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm in
right?
that area fairly often.
So then, yes.
See, no excuse.
No excuses.
No.
Also,
So-
I mean, also if you wanted to come up for Rhode Island Comic Con Hockey Night, coming up in February.
Let's not get crazy. No, I probably will. The biggest issue is, I live 2.5 hours away,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So all these events that I would love to go to help
And I-
support, like I'm not
and I
going to
ha-
dress
and I
up, but
hate
to be a
Comic-Con.
supportive thing. It's
I mean,
on,
not
like,
Comic Con. I hate Connecticut.
it's like on Wednesdays or Thursday or Fridays, and it's like I can't, and it's like at 4:00 on a Friday, and I'm like I can't.
For the record, I love Comic Con. I hate Connecticut.
Yeah, that's fair.
We can do that. Is that what you want?
That's a fair assessment. I like to say that I live in Narnia because that's what it feels like.
Okay.
You know what I have to say, and I'm hoping I'm doing this right. So what was the one where the kid meets this like girl neighbor, and he also has a sister, and they go out to the woods, and like there's this weird like trolls and then it messes my world up at the end where the neighbor girl like dies.
What in the world are you watching, sir?
Either the Bridge to Terabithia or Narnia. I don't remember.
Bridge to Terabithia.
Terabithia. Yes.
Yes. That movie messed up my world.
I
was like,
remember
this is great. And then what?
reading that book, right? I read that book when I was like in 5th or 6th grade. I don't rightly recall. I think it was elementary school, so like 4th or 5th grade. And hating it. And so when they did the movie and the way they marketed the movie, I was like, that is not at all what the book is about. Like I knew it was.
They made the movie
BS.
better than the book.
Well, because in the trailers they heavily focused on this fantasy world that is not a thing. It's not a thing to the book. It's not a thing. But it's very much like My Girl in the sense where like I hated it because I
love My Girl.
Well, as an adult, it's like different. But as a kid, and even now as an adult, there's so much that breaks my heart in real life that when I'm consuming something, like if I'm investing my time, like I don't want to spend it like weeping.
Yeah, I get that.
And so when I get invested in something and it's like I'll watch an acknowledgement, I'll be like, I want that happy ending. Like I know it's not realistic in real life, but I want it. I want the happy ending.
Well, they gave her redemption in My Girl too, though. So I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
There was a My Girl too?
Yes. Yep. She goes to California.
And she's like 14 or something at that point, right? She's like a preteen.
Yeah,
she's older.
She tries to relive her mom's footsteps of when she was younger. It's good times.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, as you can tell, like my reading is so like growing up, I read like the Goosebump books and Dawson's Creek books, and
I read everything.
I'm very big into like autobiographies. That's what I find the most interesting. I like.
I read autobiographies. People. You know what autobiography I really liked, and now I can't remember the guy's name, but his first name is Paul. Paul. Mad About You.
Oh yeah.
Paul
Reiser.
That's it. He had a great book.
One of the most intriguing books I ever read was about General Colin Powell.
Oh. I grew up reading a lot of fiction, a lot of fantasy stuff, sci-fi stuff, and then when I ran out of that because I lived kind of the last house on a dead end kind of a thing, and my parents weren't big on taking us places, I would read my mother's Harlequin books because she had a subscription. So I read a lot of those romance books, and probably at an age that I shouldn't have been reading them. But then I was also reading like V.C. Andrews and Dean Koontz and Stephen King in my formative years as well.
Dean Koontz was one of my mom's most favorite authors ever. She could never stop putting his books down.
I loved his books when I was growing up. But I didn't read like Goosebumps. I didn't read. Well, obviously I'm too old for it now. But I didn't read like Diary of a Wimpy Kid stuff. Like I didn't read any of that. I was reading like Cujo, and you know, and I can't remember the titles of Dean Koontz books off the top of my head right now, except for like the later stuff like his Frankenstein series and Aunt Thomas. But yeah, absolutely. Like I read too much of things that I should not have been reading at very formative.
And also, I just want to project to the audience as well as you know, I may have come across a little cold. I deal a lot with weird with sensitive topics with humor because that's just the only way I know how to deal with life.
Hey, no one's judging you, bud.
No judgment.
We know that.
It's what we all do.
Well, what I meant by that was that like I wasn't the target audience when it came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I read Harry Potter as an adult, right?
Right.
So obviously I read things that aren't geared for me, but it's like I was at that spot where I was reading things that was not in my wheelhouse at the time. But yeah, I was reading really advanced things at a young age. And now if I start to read anything 3 pages in, I'm falling asleep. So
I feel you on that. I have this entire
welcome to 45.
I actually read the Bill Clinton book.
Did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah, you did. And you know you did it. I know you did it. She knows you did it.
That's another Dave Chappelle where he's like, he smelled the...
Dave Chappelle will and is and will always be just the man.
This is true.
Killing Me Softly is peak.
By the way, if you guys like Bill Burr, he's got a new movie out on Netflix called Old Dads. It's amazing.
I did not like Bill Burr until he was on The Mandalorian, and now I like him.
If you watch it, just let me know when you find my wife. Right, Jessica? Old Dads, let us know when you find you.
Oh, is she in the movie?
No, she's not in the movie, but you'll know.
Oh, gotcha.
Great. Now I got to watch it just so I can catch a glimpse of my wife. My wife.
There you go. Your wife. All right. I want to thank you both for all the topics that you've brought in for us today. It is that time for us to wind down, slow down, and ease on down to the end of the show.
Oh, sorry.
Come back to the place where love was wrong.
Madam.
That wasn't me. I said ease on down the road from like The Wiz. He's the one who started with Boyz II Men.
Well, no, that's what I saw. Also, what I'm laughing at because I love The Wiz. So you can't quote The Wiz and not expect me to react.
I know the Wiz is a fever dream.
What's up? It's not normal? It's not in the room? Oh, it's in my pocket. Sorry. The wife is wifing me.
Well, thank you.
The wife is doing her wiping.
Oh, there's my wife. Hi, baby.
Wives are wiving. But thank you both for being on the show tonight.
Nope. Thank you for having me.
And I feel it was a good show. Thank you for everything that you both brought to the show and the awareness that you brought. And yeah, it was one of our more serious shows, but we had our bit of moments of lightheartedness. And as you can see, they're continuing. So I would like to thank you both for being here. Thank you, Rhode Island's own Peter Griffin, Mr. Stevie. I appreciate you being here and being willing to fill in with this crazy band of whatever the hell we are.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
topics. Yeah, I was gonna say I saw the topics. I was like,
We
It's-
laughed,
what they
we
bring me on
cried.
for?
It was
It was a
basically.
deeper show, but that's okay.
We
We'll have
laughed.
you back
You
on the
cried.
I did. I did.
Your emotions were felt.
That's not unusual. Emotions emotioned.
Right. Emotions are going to emotions. And of course, Kat, thank you for always being here and coming with
Meow.
a deep dive into a subject that you always knock out of the park when you go deep diving. And
You're
it is
very
always
sweet for saying
appreciated.
so. I just it's always going to come from
A place of love and in the heart.
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
So I'm always going to come from a place of love. Absolutely.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. So I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for sticking around with us through the hard times, the heavy times, and the happy times. Ladies and gentlemen, this was and is and always will be the 4-Letter Nerd, brought to you by Hyrule Geek X Unlimited. Come back next week. We may have mayhem. We may not have mayhem. Who knows? I might kick him off the show permanently. He's busy, so whatever. But
And guys, on behalf of a 4-Letter Nerd, I graciously accept that spot.
oh, mayhem, you got replaced. Oh no. So yeah, Big Daddy Brescia, we need you back. We need the cake. We need the cake boss energy. Come back. Feel better.
Cake.
We miss you. We love
We
you.
need Big Daddy and Sweet Baby.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you for watching, everyone. We're out of here.